Operational excellence isn't about being the cheap guy in town, isn't going to be chucking the truck and Dan in the van. It's going to be the person who delivers on the thing the customer wants most.
Welcome to HVAC Success Secrets Revealed, where each week we dive deep into the success secrets of the home service industry, uncovering insights and strategies to help you and your business thrive. I'm your host, Evan Hoffman. My partner in crime / co-host Thaddeus was away for this episode, but today we've got a fascinating conversation lined up for y'all. We are joined by marketing maven and entrepreneur extraordinaire Ryan Shute to explore the changing landscapes of branding, consumer-centric marketing, and operational excellence. Ryan is a partner at the Wizard of Ads after being invited by the legendary Roy Williams. Ryan brings a wealth of experience in the home service sector, imparting wisdom on how businesses can win by providing true value and prioritizing customer service and crafting a compelling brand story. We'll unravel Ryan's unique perspective on how businesses can leverage a simple yet sophisticated approach to customer service. And Ryan will also shed some light on how the channel you market on is far less significant. As we navigate the intricate dance of balancing capacity and leads, Ryan emphasizes the significance of having a North Star, that guiding principle and value for your business to allow you to strive for authenticity in your marketing and the art of being a gentle savage in the market. We'll also touch on the current economic trends and how businesses can adapt by focusing on serving customers and taking care of people, whether it's mastering the intricacies of marketing and getting your messaging out there or differentiating your brand amid fierce competition. Ryan's expertise is sure to inspire. This was a fantastic conversation. I know you're going to enjoy it, but before we kick things off, a quick thank you to our sponsors, Chirp, Elite Call, Coach to Close, and On Purpose Media for their continued support. Transform your home service business with Chirp, the ultimate automation toolbox. Capture more leads, connect instantly, skyrocket your sales. Look, Chirp integrates seamlessly with platforms like ServiceTitan and Housecall Pro, offering automated texts, emails, and even ringless voicemails. Boost your Google reviews and your customer loyalty with their proven rehash programs. Schedule your demo today and get an exclusive 25% off your first 3 months by using our code. Visit chirp.com/HSSR to boost your revenue today.
Have you ever thought about outbounding your databases to fill your dispatch boards with lucrative service and sales appointments? How about doing that and boosting memberships too? Well, now you can with Elite Call, a US-based call center that does just that. For over 20 years, their dedicated teams don't just make calls, they directly integrate these appointments into your CRM and fill your job boards. Don't let your competition get ahead. Let Elite Call connect with your customers first. Visit elitecall.net to learn more.
With Coach to Close, your technicians have daily opportunities to not only fix problems, but also significantly enhance your business's profitability. But we all know technicians aren't trained to be salespeople. Without the right approach, these opportunities are just slipping away, costing your business money and opportunities. With Coach to Close, your techs go from beyond Band-Aid repairs and start presenting more options for customers to buy. But don't just take our word for it. One of their clients ended up taking their average ticket from $600 to $1,000 in just 3 weeks, and another 2 weeks later, all the way up to $1,500. They're offering call-by-call management and sales execution, allowing your technicians to be able to truly stick to what it is that they love to do, which is repairing equipment and allowing their help to close those opportunities. For more information to book your call with them, visit coach-2-close.com. That's coach to close with the number 2 in the middle.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to HVAC Success Secrets Revealed, a show where we interview industry leaders and disruptors, revealing the success secrets to create and unleash the ultimate HVAC business. Now your hosts, Thaddeus and Evan.
Whew. That was a whirlwind.
Woo.
Ryan, welcome to the show, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's late out on the East Coast, joining us from lovely Nova Scotia. Truly appreciate you taking the time, my friend.
Hey, listen, I'm glad that we finally got together.
Likewise. So walk us through your journey a little bit here, because you've had a hell of a trip to get into working with the trades now. You traveled the world. You've seen a whole bunch of different cultures, how society interacts, how sales happen, how marketing happens in a variety of different cultures. But how did you get here, man?
You know, I started off, dropping out of school. I was in the military for a relatively short period of time. Realized that there's certainly a lot more money to be made in being entrepreneurial, and I had that spirit about me. So went into university, was working in the family business during that time, and they're very supportive of me getting through the business, and I was able to work and do university at the same time. That really took me on a path of I really, really enjoyed communicating, helping others, going out to other companies and learning what they're doing and helping them out. So I started doing first training and just low level stuff, small time sales training, particularly around selling warranties and kind of intangible items in the furniture business. And then that evolved for me in management. I was running the family business with my family, with my dad and some other family members, and that gets a bit tiresome after a while. And I wanted to get out from underneath the shadow of the wing, and moved out west to Calgary, Edmonton, and did my thing out there for a number of years. That's really where I had the opportunity to step into real estate and find other opportunities outside of furniture and retail. And when I came back to Nova Scotia, we had sold the family business at that point in time. I needed to get into a different industry. Walked into a car dealership one day and said, "Hey, are you guys hiring?" And they said, "Do you want to be in the business office?" I was dressed in a suit, and they're like, "You had a pocket square." I guess that's what sold them. So I was like, "Yeah, what's that?" Uh, hadn't even bought a brand new car in my life at that point in time, and they're like, "Cool." So 6 years later, I'm an international sales trainer. All around the world, teaching people. We were basically setting up marketing and sales for people, and we were doing live sales with real customers and closing deals and actually paying for our existence and our fees to do the job. So it was this really kind of cool dynamic. They sent me over to Australia, and I developed that market. With the company I was with there, and we blew that up, and then did a little bit more of that in New Zealand, spent 3 months there, and then came back to Canada and started doing it stateside. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind. In 2015, I joined up with Roy and took my first class at the Wizard Academy in Austin, Texas, called Magical Worlds, and it's a 3-day course that just breaks your brain around communication. And coming into this, I had seen a lot of success. We had a custom home building business. We were making good money. We were doing all the things that need to be done. I had a solid understanding of transactional marketing. Ran a lead gen business for the automotive industry for subprime leads in Canada. Like got the bits and pieces that would do the job. And I thought I knew what I was talking about, and realized quite quickly that I hadn't a clue what I was doing, and that there was this whole universe above me that I needed to step into. So I did. I spent many tens of thousands of dollars to go to the Wizard Academy, spent a lot of time with Roy, spent a lot of time learning and understanding and doing my own self-directed research. And 2017 in the summer, I reached out to Roy about my birthday and said, "Hey, can we talk?" 3 words, "Can we talk?" And he shot a message back to me, and we chatted a number of times, 4 or 5 times for hours. And he invited me to be a partner of his. That's the only way you can be a partner, is to be invited in. And I didn't really realize any of this. I was just saying, "Hey, this is a thing that I'm seeing." And I think that there's a great thing that we're doing from a marketing standpoint and advertising, but what if we just bridged that and brought it deeper into the middle of the funnel and extended it into salespeople and CSRs, and bridge that brand gap that exists out there in the universe to customers, and make it live with the employees. And he loved that. And then we kind of spent a couple of years figuring out how to make that work. And he was doing amazing things in the home service industry with the Gettles and the Morris Jenkins of the world. I never had any participation in any of those things, but learned from those things and leaned into the best practices that I could see in home services, and then just started building that library of knowledge and documenting those things and starting to serve clients and consulting them, and then moving into really developing out the master strategies that we need to make home services uh, really accelerate their growth, not just with marketing, but with the bits and pieces that support marketing to make marketing, capacity grow.
Right. Well, it all works together, right? It's
Yeah.
you can't have one without the other. You have great operations and no marketing, well, you're not going to have any customers. You have great marketing and terrible operations, well, you're not going to keep customers. So you're just constantly churning through it, and it's the most expensive way to grow a business. So it's all synchronistic, and you need to have that story can be consistent from the marketing message all the way through to the customer experience.
Yeah. It's funny. I was on a call with Ken Goodrich earlier today, and we were talking about operational excellence. And for the first 3 years of knowing Roy, I thought he was just making up pretty words. I was like, okay, that sounds like something fancy. That's a thing, obviously, but I didn't know what it was. And then one day we're sitting with clients and Roy, and strangely enough, we're having wine because that's a thing that Roy does. And and he starts going down the 4 different business models of operational excellence is kind of the pinnacle place that companies need to get to.
Right.
And I'm like, wow. And he goes, I only work with operationally excellent companies because if I don't, then everything I do is just going to break the shit out of them. They're going to be all messed up in no time because they can't handle the thing that's coming at them. So really leaning into those elements that make operational excellence is something I've spent a lot of time on, 7 years, really kind of leaning into and helping strategically help clients get past themselves so that they can be tall enough to ride the next ride.
Right. Well, I wasn't expecting to go here, but we're definitely diving into this because this is fantastic. Well, when it comes to operational excellence, and this is something that, there was a question posed in a Facebook group a couple of weeks ago, even around paid ads.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most expensive things that you can do in your business when you are not operationally sound. Because if you miss a call, well, that's $50, $80, $180, depending on how much that click costs you, down the drain. And you just said, no, thanks, I don't want it because I didn't answer my phone.
Yeah.
When you're talking about operational excellence, I'm curious, one, what is it that you see amongst the companies that are operationally excellent? And where is it that most companies are dropping the ball?
Oh, man. So now you're in my happy place. So quick out of the gate, we're right there. I love it. So
that's the alcohol,
right? It is. Right. Listen, let's giddy up. The thing that I'm seeing with operational excellence is that people just the exercise of what Roy calls exformation, knowing what to exclude, is far more powerful than including everything. When we have less and we make it more, one of the biggest mistakes I see clients make is that they try to be all things to all people, and there's no scalability in that. Being the ultimate custom tailored bespoke solution to everybody is a recipe for smallness, right? It's mediocrity at its best. And it's not because you're bad, it's because you don't have enough time to do the thing over and over and over again to make a bunch of money, like they do at Costco by kicking out a whole bunch of inventory 3 times before they have to pay for their first time. And this is the same thing that we're doing in any of our businesses. If we're going to streamline services, we have to do it in our inventory, in our pricing, we have to do it in our training, we have to do it every place within the business so that we have an efficiency to get people up to speed, to deliver at the optimal level. And so many people are bogged down with the bullshit. They're bogged down with all of this stuff that they just don't need to spend time on. And that's what's slowing them down, right? They get to the point of, I can't do any more of it because we've run out of the owner, right? There's no more hours in the day left. And that really is the biggest crux. So taking things away, knowing who to lose, knowing what to lose are the things that make you much more powerful in this world.
Love it. Warren Buffett, I went to a seminar once. It was Darren Hardy that was speaking. And as the publisher of Success Magazine, he had the privilege of speaking to some of the greatest minds that exist. And One of them was Warren Buffett, and he said, you know, what is one of the secrets to success that has allowed you to thrive as an investor? And he said, for every 100 opportunities that I get, I say no to 99 of them. And the one that I say yes to, it's a yes to more information, not a yes to me investing.
Right.
He said, it's probably only 3 in 1,000 that I actually say yes to investing.
Yeah.
So being able to decipher and create that filter around what it is that you say yes to is really important. Gary Keller, another great mind when it comes to these sorts of things. He says, you know, every time that I say yes to something, I'm saying no to everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So being very careful about what it is that you're saying yes to in your business.
I think
when
that
you're working,
just to kind of make an exclamation point onto exactly what you just said, man. Leads.
yeah,
We all can agree, you and I know, agree that there is a difference between a low quality lead and a high quality lead. And the customer comes in who typed your domain name in and wants to work with you, or searched for you organically and is looking for you, is going to convert at a higher average ticket. They're going to close today, and they're going to close more profitably, and they're going to be a likely lifetime customer, versus the undecided, right? When we can be efficient with our people, like, who do you want to send your lead out, your tech out to? You've got so many techs, you got so many spots a day. Do you want to fill it full of, Frontier and Spirit customers, with a chicken coop and a goat in the back, or do you want to fill it full of, Emirates customers who are going to be drinking the champagne and enjoying the luxuries of what you have to offer for your service?
mm-hmm.
Sign me up to sending my guys out to the guys who are customers who are closing today.
Well, and it truly depends on what your company is built around, because I believe there is a company that's the perfect fit for the Frontier customer.
100%.
And there's the company that can deliver that white glove service, and that's their sweet spot, and that's where they thrive,
100%.
and that's who they need to market to and communicate to.
Absolutely. And both of those companies need to exist, and both of those customers exist. So let's not pretend like there's only one solution. There isn't. There's so many. Some company like Walmart wins on the low price game, right?
Yep.
Costco does not, but Costco outperforms on a revenue per square foot to Walmart. On a per square foot basis, for how many stores they have, they make infinitely more money than Walmart. Walmart still wins because of total size and volume, right?
Correct.
So both of those models are perfectly sound models. Which one do you want to be in? Do you want to be in the one that kicks out a bunch of sticks, or do you want to kick out more sticks per and have less effort going into having to kick out more sticks per customer?
Yeah. We're going through EOS right now.
Nice.
So the Entrepreneur's Operating System. And so we
Love
just finished our fourth call, I think it was. And we were deciding on our annual goals. And it just happened to work out that we're in the middle of February doing that, but that's what we were deciding on.
Yep.
And what we had in our budget, we ended up slashing and saying we want fewer, but higher average ticket. We want to go deeper with each client and provide more value to each client, as opposed to bringing on a mass amount of clients.
Right.
And I think weeding out what it is that truly matters for you as a business owner is incredibly important. And what is the kind of business that you want to run? Because the people on social media will tell you everything under the sun, and it's really deciding what it is that it means to you and making that decision.
Well, yeah, gosh, the advice on social media is so dangerous. It's a snake pit, and some of those snakes have venom, and some of them, just have a nasty bite, and some of them are the perfect solution. It's figuring out, you can't compare your chapter 2 to somebody else's chapter 27. The strategies that work at chapter 27 do not work at chapter 2, and navigating that is challenging. And looking at that advice, you have to kind of take it for a bit of a grain of salt.
Yep, that is a brilliant analogy. I love that. One of the things that we believe is that all marketing works.
I 100% support that in every way. Yeah.
Amazing. Glad we're on the same page with that. It's more or less, what is the message to the consumer who's on that platform that
Yep.
is the important thing, which is one of the things that I love about your approach, which is how you order what it is that you prioritize when you're working with a client. So why is strategy more important than platform?
Well, there's a couple of big monsters there to unpack. The first one is that if you're starting with channel first and your person that's coming to you is coming to you with channel first, then they're saying, I sell this, buy my shit. It's going to be good because this is the thing that I know that's going to be good and I can make this marketing work. And I respect that for that channel person. Their job is to sell the thing that they're selling.
Correct.
We're media agnostic. We're not married to a channel. We do not give a shit which channel you use. We want to use the channel that's going to cost the least and get the highest return on investment. We want to spend your money like it's grandma's, and we're not tied to your expense. We're tied to your growth and your profitability, full stop. That aligns our motivations to do the same thing. So strategy is how you do that. When you start with strategy, instead of looking at a channel solution, you look at the holistic solution and looking at how to optimize each channel. Offline, you and I are talking about, one does not work without the other. You can absolutely generate leads without branding.
Yep.
They're different kind of lead than a branded lead, but they're absolutely going to be a natural demand ceiling in any city in America or Canada, and you're going to generate business. If you have capacity to run it, you're going to make money. You run a good operation, you run a lean and efficient operation, you're going to have net profit at the end of the year, and you're going to celebrate as a successful business. That being said, some people have the ambition to be more than a successful business. They want to be the market leader, the market dominant player. They want to be a multi-market player. And to the point of the chapter 27 and chapter 2, right? If you were to listen to the media strategies that you get taught at university, where they teach you about how Apple did this and they have like omni-channel, all of this nonsense, and you go try to deploy that in your small business that has a budget that is a grain of sand on a beach called Apple, you are going to bleed out or burn out all of your money and or time, energy,
Yep.
morale to going, right? Because it's just not going to work.
Right.
Some of the best strategies for small businesses in the home service industry start with concentrating your energy on a specific channel when you're ready to go to a brand strategy. Some people invest in it early on and grow past to get into that spot where revenue supports it. And some people start with lead gen. And because there's there's natural lead gen in your marketplace, no matter what marketplace you are in North America, that's a good place to start. Now, if you have a good story and a proper name and those types of things to support it, you're in a good place to be able to speed up growth if you have capacity and the proper operations to deliver a great customer experience. So all of this starts to tie together, right? We start to see how operational excellence affects your lead flow, affects your brand story, affects the type of lead that you get, which affects capacity. We were just talking about this with another client this week, and probably one of the most terrifying things that can be proposed to a client is to have more capacity than leads. Now that's like a shit your pants moment, right? It's like, wait, whoa. More capacity than leads, well, then I'm going to go bankrupt.
Right.
Right. But hear me out. There is a philosophy here that has served some of the largest clients that we've ever had to get the largest multiples that have ever been achieved ever in the home service industry by following the philosophy of more capacity than leads. And here's how, right? When you're large enough that you're covering off your natural demand, and then you position yourself so that you are prepared to handle capacity as it comes, right? The best barber is a busy barber. But now if we have a new guy in a new chair and we can handle some walk-ins, we've just added additional revenue. We've added new clients, right? Same thing in home services. If I have 3 trucks standing by, one in each one of my business units, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC, And I tell my clients in mass media now, hey, I've got a truck standing by. If you need a thing right now, you can have it right now.
Mhm.
What does the customer care about most? Getting that shit fixed right now. They didn't want to deal with it in
Yep.
the first place.
Yep.
Right? It's an affront to their sensibilities that they have to deal with this horse shit as it is. Why in the world are you making me have to make a phone call to this guy? I'm going to call the guy that can come right now. Right?
Mhm.
Heck, I'll even pay you a little bit more for that convenience. That sounds like an awfully good lead to me, right? And when they know about that before they hit Google, you win. They're still using Google. They're still using. They're probably paying for a paid spot because you have to own your space. You have to dominate if they're looking for you. If you get on the map pack, aided recall is a real thing in this world that we're in. The psychology and the biology of having a person, the neuroscience of having a person go, oh, those guys, yeah, I remember those. They're the funny commercials. But yeah, let's click. Right.
Well, that's how you win when you're on the second, third, fourth, fifth position on Google, right?
Right.
Because there is that recall and that memory that comes up, and when you can tie emotion back to it, that's when they truly remember you. But we'll get into that in a little bit of the strategy, I think.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
um, what sorts of questions do you start with when you're starting to build out this strategy with a client? If we were to imagine someone who's doing this, working at home, they're listening to this, they want to run through a little bit of an exercise at least to start to create this brand story. What sorts
Yeah.
of questions would you ask them? What sorts of things would you want to find out?
Yeah. That'll be so. There's two levels to that. One is kind of the bigger picture thing, and understanding their market. So research and development around that. We're answering the questions of what we call the eclipse uncovery. And the eclipse uncovery really boils down to the economy, then the conditions and the competencies that you have as a business, then the limitations you have as a business. Then you're looking at what your impressions are and your presence is in the marketplace, and what it is that you stand for and stand against in the stories and the experiences that you have to tell from what you've already done in this marketplace. Um, Ultimately, what it's boiling down to is the stories that are true about a company. A brand story works best when it's 100% sincere and
Mhm.
authentic and true. If we talk about things that are incongruent with what the customer experiences, everyone loses.
Right.
Right? This is how marketing breaks sales and the business that is a bad business, right? The guys who call us up and say, just say anything to get us more leads, like anything. We have had this happen to us and had that ruse played. We will not put up with it because we don't believe in impacting people that way because we know how much influence that we bring to the table when we put together a media buy at the frequencies that we put them on and the strength of the message that goes behind it. So we have to be true and we have to be authentic and we have to be genuine to the true solution. So what are the things that you're good at? What are the things you're not good at? Let's not talk about those things. But that stuff's just the kind of the table stake stuff. That's easy. Do you know what the really hard part is? It's something that Byron Sharp talks about in his book, How Brands Grow. He's an Australian guy. He's got two books, and he talks about the difference between differentiation and distinction, right? And he says distinction to be different from being different, right? Go figure, right? It's like
Right.
leave it to a marketing guy. So distinction is the thing to point out here. When we have a distinctive solution, then we stand 600 feet above the competition. When that distinctive solution represents more than just one thing, you now stand for something. You have a North Star for something that allows the customer to go, those are my people. They self-select and become those self-selected insiders, regardless of price.
Right.
Some of Roy's largest successes have been absolute showstopper successes because they're willing to stand 600 feet above the competition and do what the competitors can do. It's completely fair competitive advantage, but they choose not to. which makes them the choice when it comes down to it. Now, the number one complaint that they get, either 1 star or 5 stars on Google, is, my God, they're expensive, but I wouldn't use anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you have to cover the cost. And that's operational excellence, by the way. Isn't that weird? Operational excellence isn't about being the cheap guy in town. Isn't going to be chucking the truck and Dan in the van. It's going to be the person who delivers on the thing the customer wants most. In home services, very often that is making the thing go away. Whatever that is, right?
Well, we don't ever experience the customer that's happy to call us.
Like,
No one's excited to buy an air conditioner today.
Woo-hoo, yeah. Hey guys, come on out back. I got to show you this new air conditioner.
Yeah,
we're having an air conditioner party.
Yeah, my toilet's overflowing. There's shit everywhere, but come on in.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you have any examples of taking something that would be a relatively plain or ordinary feature and then turning it into a guiding North Star value of a company?
Oh, yeah. So, there's a couple of really important truths that the home service industry needs to know. There's a guy who wrote a whole book about truth equations and stuff like that, and I just looked at it and went, wow, he made that awfully unnecessarily complicated. Truth is two things. This has been well researched and well documented. The customer is looking for two things. First, they're looking for empathy, often known as warmth. The second thing a customer is looking for, and when I say customer, I mean person. And when I say person, I mean human being. And when I say human being, I mean humanoid object. This, like, we can really just kind of get to the point where, like, animals see this, that mammals see that, like, people recognize empathy, right? They can sense it. So empathy is really important. When we were cavemen, we need to know that if we're going to sleep in that cave with the big burly guy, that he's not going to club us over the head and eat us. Then we need to look at competence. Can they do the thing? Can they provide the thing? Can they serve the thing? Can they do it without it, killing us or burning the house down or being weird to my daughter or all of those other things, right? So empathy and competence are the two ingredients to trust. That's a big deal. If we can speak to the empathetic tones and to the competent tones, if we can express that through not talking about ourselves, but talking about how we handle situations in customers' lives, in their struggles and in their transformations, that's when we win. The second part of it is there's only one thing in home services that people pay a premium price for. Only one thing. There's two things that people will pay a premium price for. They'll pay a premium price for convenience, and they'll pay it for exclusivity, which is a status signal, right? Which is an identity motivator. So it all boils back down to identity. We don't have anything exclusive in home services that we can sell. Nothing. I don't care if you have a private labeled air conditioner. It is not exclusive, right? Now, if you have a Rolex air conditioner, you might have something there, right? A Tiffany's air conditioning unit or a hot water tank. You might have a chance to win that game. Haven't seen it yet. So convenience is the only thing. And when I say premium price, I don't mean paying more for a more expensive thing. I'm talking about paying more for the same thing that you can get anywhere else, right? And the only reason why I'm going to pay you more is because I can get yours done today and make that pain go away in home services. Right. Now, this isn't true in Lululemons, right? Or Canada Goose jackets, right? That's not a thing. Exclusivity is, right? The exclusivity is it's stupid expensive and only a certain amount of people can afford it or will afford it.
Will afford it, yeah.
Right? Or choose to designate that money to it. Same with cars. Same with all of those internally triggered things. We're not selling that stuff. We're selling externally triggered grudge purchases. Yeah. We're playing a different game. We have a different trigger point, and the trigger point is shit's got to break. Something's got to break first, right? Your Lululemons don't got to break first. You just need to have a desire to have a fabulous ass, which I do, by the way. Throw that out.
You can't see it, but Ryan's wearing Lulus right now. You'll never know.
Never know. Or am I?
All of this is brilliant, and being able to take that North Star, that value add, that convenience that you can create out of your business, I think is fantastic. And yet, just having trucks on standby sometimes isn't enough, because another business might have trucks on standby and they might have another offer that's tied to it as well.
Mhm.
What types of offers are you seeing that are working better in the current economic state that we're in right now, where people might be a little bit more hesitant to go forward with a replacement and they're more leaning towards the repair because they're concerned about what's going on?
Beautiful. Love it. All right. So a couple big things. One, relational friendly transactional offers, RFTOs. Don't let me forget that one. Two, that we have to take a fix it first priority. We have to take the position of fix it first. We lead with fix. We follow with replace. Replacements will happen as you step over the threshold and investigate the situation. You have to get over the threshold first. Even those people who are marketed leads who are often saying, "Yeah, no, it's toast. Yeah, I gotta fix it." What if we could fix it for $500? Would you rather hang on to it for another year? It'd be like, oh yeah, but it's pooched. Like last three guys have come in and tried to sell me a new one. Yeah, I know, but we're really good at fixing things. Now you might need a new one, but can we at least come out and take a look, right? And when that happens in mass media, when it happens in pay-per-click, when we have some meta description that we can actually kind of lead the customer to that thing, then we're going to pop on the thing the customer cares about most, which is not spending any money that I did not budget for a thing that I did not expect to have a problem with right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather spend my money on literally everything else, right? So what are we doing? We're creating an environment where the customer is resonating with the thing that they want to see happen. Hope is one of the most powerful movers in the world. When we deliver hope to our customers, we give them a glimmer of opportunity and faith that we're the ones that are going to do the thing that needs to be done. Right? So be the dealers in hope, as what is his name? Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte said, "Be the dealers in hope." That's what leaders are.
Yep. And that was John Maxwell as well. He said, leaders are dealers of hope.
They are. Yeah. John Maxwell stole that from Napoleon Bonaparte. God bless
There we
his
go.
soul. I love John Maxwell.
Got a call with John next week on Wednesday.
There we go.
Run a mastermind with him. Yeah,
Give him a high five. Tell him I said hi.
definitely will. RFTO.
Relational friendly transactional offers. There's two people in this world, right? When it comes to buying mindset. Buying mindset comes from surviving and thriving mindset. Abraham Maslow, in his hierarchy of needs, has 5 different hierarchies. There's everything from kind of basic subsistence through to security and safety. Then middle one is belonging. Then from belonging, it goes esteem, and then self-actualization. Let's not get into the weeds of it too deeply here, but 65% of the population of any G1 country is looking to either retain their position in belonging or get to belonging, which means people are either surviving and trying to belong, right? Just trying to be loved, having some status in life, keep up with the Joneses, or to hang on to that shred of opportunity that you have, right? Now, some people are thriving very well, and some people are just desperately hanging on at any given time. Because that's the case, belonging ends up being the very first spot in thriving. With a thriving mindset, when you have an abundance of money and of people surrounding you that love you, a support system, a roof over your head, food in your belly, you're thinking about things differently. As you have more access to resources, you have less resource, as a rule, to time. And people are trying to protect those things. There's only 3 currencies that a customer ever has: money, energy, and time. So they're going to protect their time and only pay attention to the things that are going to help them thrive, right? To keep their status at or above where they are today. So if that's the case, what we're trying to do is speak to the customers or bring them into the thriving mindset, understanding that more people are in in the surviving mindset than they are in the thriving mindset, which means hoarding money, protecting themselves, creating a fortress, doing everything they can to defend the bastions so that they can make it to the next day or to elevate themselves in thriving. Really hard to do when you're selling HVAC, right? Because you're taking away resources for a thing that they did not want to invest in, but that fact that you have air conditioning in Texas means a whole lot to the missus. Right. This is far beyond a luxury today. It is a life support system. Right. And that's the reality of the thing that we're in today. So what does that mean? We need to appeal to the mindset of thriving in a surviving category, right, by nature. So our skew, if we look at a bell curve, is going to be heavily skewed to more people want to spend less money and resource on dealing with this nonsense, and we have to somehow swing them. Well, the first way we're going to do that is to speak to them from a relational standpoint. If we're going to make an offer, we need to make it relational friendly. Now, relational people care about time more than money. They're protecting their time, and they'll give up money to protect it. They're doing that to protect their energy, right? To bring their baseline of energy back from a negative energy up to a baseline of positive or positive. In the surviving mode, they're trying to get from negative to at least baseline, right?
Right.
And they're doing it with the least amount of resources possible. The biggest resource that you have in surviving is going to be money, right? Because there's traditionally a lack thereof. The energy and time are luxury when you start to think about it. The reality of it is that time is the only one that's actually a non-renewable resource. So time is the most precious of the three. But energy is the thing that people are trying to protect. Ken and I were talking to an electrical company, and energy is the thing that people pursue at all costs. And the pursuit of energy makes up many forms, from the energy that we have in our bodies, the vibration, the resonance, the feeling that we have of good or bad, to the power, the plugs that we plug into our wall that allow us to have internet and be able to wax on eloquently here on live podcasts, and all of the fun things that deliver this experience that is called the human condition. So because people are trying to get to this positive energies place, which is going to help elevate their status both internally in the self and with their tribes, we're trying to create an environment where people will say yes to us. Right. That all said, let's talk about a nuts and bolts relational offer. This is one that I've presented in a couple of things. I introduced it to my clients last year, and a small select handful of them, half of them absolutely took it and blew it up, and the other half kind of didn't pull it through as much as they wanted to. And it really had to do with operational delivery of that strategy, because everything needs a strategy. If you don't have a strategy behind a great idea, you just have a great idea that failed to be awesome. So
one likely isn't getting executed, right?
right, yeah. So that's it, right? Yeah, that's it's anyway. We so many paths we could go down here. The relational friendly transactional offer. You can offer anybody $1,500 off any system whatsoever. Right? Here's $1,500 off any system. Just call us today. For the love of God, please just call us. We just like $1,500. Like, that's a big deal, right? Like, we mark it up $1,500 to mark it down $1,500 so you buy it today, right? Right? And the customer's like, yeah, okay, I wasn't born yesterday, right? Or I wasn't born at night. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. So what we're looking at, a relational friendly transactional offer says, I will punish myself by giving you $1,500 off if I can't install it today. Because the relational customer cares about their time more than money, and convenience is the only thing that they pay a premium for, which is the only thing that anyone pays a premium for, then I need to make time the thing that matters. I need to self-inflict a punishment upon my business when I don't live up to my brand promise. And when I don't live up to the brand promise, there needs to be a consequence. Otherwise, you're just making a baseless claim. 100% satisfaction guarantee. We'll do whatever it takes to do it right. You might as well have screamed that into the sea at a Taylor Swift concert while she was singing her best song. Like, nobody heard you. It doesn't matter, right? And that's what we're trying to do, is stand out amongst the crowd. We have to do that by putting a consequence on ourselves when we don't do the thing. And that's the power of a relational friendly transactional offer.
And so what would be an example of that consequence?
Well, one of our clients says, if we don't show up on time for the install on the day that we said, 8 o'clock is their magic number, we're going to give you $500.
Mm.
Right? Boom, $500. Do you know when the best marketing is? When they have to give $500.
Yeah, you turn that into a piece of marketing.
That is a piece of marketing right there, right? We've literally written follow-up ads to the thing where we make the promise and then we muff it up somehow, and we have to tell the people how we did it. Do you know what that is? That is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying, because what you're risking is exposure. You're making yourself vulnerable. But the only way to bond with a client, go past the superficial, to bond with a client, is to risk vulnerability for intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And Brene Brown talks about this. Brene Brown says, look, you can't have vulnerability without courage. You can't have courage without vulnerability. There's no soldier that's running towards bullets going, I'm good, right? That takes courage. Running into a fire. I talked to a firefighter this morning and I said, if you want to make something meaningful about your business, talk about the things that made you the most vulnerable and how you handled them, right? Because that makes you a human being that talks about the suffering and the transformations in life that make you worth something. Do you know that value is a weird thing? Value, you often hear people talking about values, right?
Right.
Here's our core values. There's 8 core values. It's quite laughable. There's 8 core values, and there's a list of them. Like that's on Wikipedia somewhere, and it's like boom, 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 boom. Integrity, honesty, trust, all that shit's in there. That's basically just one, but that's one. And then there's like this and this and this and this and this. Like we value all this crap, right? It always boils down to those 8 things,
Right.
right? Guess what those are? Those are beliefs, and beliefs are worthless. And that sounds like a really just like audacious thing for me to say. I'm Canadian. Like, I'm not supposed to do that. Right? I'm supposed to, I'm sorry. I'll apologize now. But right. The reality of it is, and one of our partners is a minister, ordained minister. And he says, look, we were all sitting together, Roy and Manly Miller and myself, and we were having dinner, and he's saying, your beliefs are worthless. And I'm like, well, that's an interesting way to start the conversation. Where are we going with this, Manly? And he goes, well, think about it. What's more valuable? What's more important, justice or mercy? But if I'm an accused murderer, I want mercy. And if I'm the victim's family, I want justice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're both equally true and valid, right? Very fair. Both are equally true. Right? Niels Bohr talks about this, Nobel Prize winning physicist. And the reality of it is that because beliefs are interchangeable based on the circumstance and which side of the table you sit on, right? That makes them worthless, because you're only going to pick the convenient, as you naturally would. You're a human being. You're
Right.
going to do the thing that you should do. Do you know what value is? Value is the thing that you do when it's hard. Right? The epitome of Ken Goodrich's Gettle slogan, we do it the right way, not the easy way, embodies this. That's a trademarked thing. Don't try to steal it. It's going to not work out well for you. The reality of it is that the value that you bring to the table is the thing that you do when it's inconvenient for you and convenient for the customer. The only true value you bring becomes convenience. What's the only thing a person will pay a premium for? Convenience.
Convenience and exclusivity.
Right. So if that's the case, your true core values are the things you do when it's hard, when it's inconvenient for you to do them, when it's the opposite of what naturally you should do, when you're running towards the bullets or the fire or the danger instead of running away from it like the natural human instinct would be. And that value That value is the thing that your clients value. Find that thing in your business, and you've got the distinctive solution that you've been looking for to make your customers call you versus all the other competitors out there. Crazy, right?
And yet so simple.
Yet so simple. You know, Leonardo da Vinci says the ultimate sophistication is simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a powerful, powerful thought, because it may be simple, but it's not easy.
Correct. Well, and I think that's where true genius comes out, and that's where mastery comes out, is when you're willing to do the things that others won't. You're willing to do the things that your competitors won't. That's for sure.
Yeah, even though they could. Morris Jenkins stays open late 7 days a week, midnight every 7 days a week. Did we ever say that in advertising? No. What they did was they showed an ad where Dewey was sitting with, and this is Roy's stuff. I didn't have anything to do with it. I just appreciate the genius that it is. And what it was Dewey Jenkins sitting with Bobby, and the two of them are sitting in a fake truck in the middle of a fake parking lot in the middle of a fake night, and they were shooting in the dark, and a little timer in the corner would flip from 11:43 to 11:44 as they started their dialogue, and that said everything you need to say without ever saying that we are open late 7 days a week. You didn't have to. You just had to tell the story, get right into the weeds of it, and the customer is invested in the story. Do you know how hard it is to make a customer feel something about a home service business?
Damn near impossible sometimes.
Damn near impossible. Like a positive thing. Like they feel all of the shitty things. Right?
Absolutely.
That's easy as heck, right? Like we just like, oh, you hate us? Well, that was easy. Well, we just charge you too much. But doing the thing that makes them go like, those are my boys, right? Those are my girls. Those are the people I want to do business with. When it comes time to getting the thing that they sell, I'm buying from them. That is hard in home service. It's easy in Lululemons.
Yep. Well, and it's funny. I heard an ad this morning. I don't listen to the radio often just because I can't stand it. I the people I hate the most, actually, the radio announcers. I don't like listening to them and their jargon and their back and forth stuff. I prefer listening to the ads over them. Just my preference.
Awesome.
But the ad that came on was a home service company here in Edmonton, and they rolled through like 7 different offers.
Mm-hmm.
There was no value add. There was no connection. There was no relatability. I remember them because I know the brand, and they're actually a national, they're a part of a big company, a private equity company. But it was astonishing to me how little the effort they actually put into trying to understand what a consumer might be going through.
Well, this is the spaghetti against the wall strategy. They like yeah, shit, that one stuck to like. See, guys, right? It worked, guys. Right. It worked, right? Somebody called off the ad. We got 3 calls, right? And then our CSR asked where you heard about us, and then they said, "Well, we heard about the ad, and one of the 17 offers. We happen to remember one of them." Think about it this way: brilliant genius, one of our literally top 1% writers in the entire North American marketplace, Chris Torbay. Worked for Porsche, worked for Bud Light before weird shit happened. Back in the heyday, right? Back in the impressive times. He's like, he does this demonstration at the Wizard of Ads partner group meeting, and he's just like making this point of the one big thing. And he says, he brings up one of the other partners, and he has this bucket of tennis balls. And he says, all right, catch this. And he dumps all the tennis balls at him. The guy catches nothing, right? He get one in the face. He didn't catch a tennis ball. And they bounce around, and they scoop them all and put them back in the bucket. And then they set the bucket aside, and he takes one ball. And he goes, catch this ball. And he catches the ball, right? Because he's a grown-ass adult and has at least a semblance of hand-eye coordination, which is pretty impressive. If you knew the partner, you'd appreciate my sentiment. So he catches the ball, and he goes, that's the difference in good advertising and bad advertising, right? When you throw 7 offers at a person how many balls are likely to catch with all of the distraction, everything else? Not to
Mhm.
mention all of the balls and distractions that are coming from the Bud Light commercial before, the Apple commercial after, the Lululemon's commercial then, and then this other HVAC company, and then a garage door company, and all this other stuff. Well, that's right.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks, Mac.
yeah, bless. At the end of the day, what does that mean? It means that if you try to talk to everyone, you speak to no one.
Correct.
You've got to choose who to lose, and you got to talk to somebody. Now, I'm not talking about customer personas. I'm talking about relational versus transactional. I'm talking about overarching sentiment that is more universal in its truth, that allows us to speak to Chad, who's 35, and Mary, who's 37 with 2 kids at home, and Jeff, who's 45 and overworked and not enough pay, and all of these different personas that matter when we talk about digital targeting, but have zero relevance in mass media. It's mass media, not targeted media, right?
Yes.
We have to influence people with our words and pigeonhole them into the relational thinking, be it offer based or be it sentiment based, right? I stand for what you stand for. This is the crux of political campaigns. This is the crux of all duality in life. And when you stand for something, that means you, by nature, stand against something else. And people can say, I'm with that guy, right?
Yep.
I'm okay paying more as long as you can fix it today. Can't fix it today? Well, you're not going to get me out of bed for $250 measly ass discount, but you're sure as shit going to get my attention at $1,500, right?
Yep.
And that's how we move those people. The other really valuable thing that Ken brought up today, and this was 100% Ken's idea. We were talking about he texted, he'd email or he'd text Roy each night, very often, 2 or 3 times, maybe even more a week, saying, here's a thing, right? There is no such thing as branding ads creating demand, right? We can't manifest demand out of nothing. That's not a real thing. People don't buy air conditioners traditionally in the middle of a freezing cold winter storm, right? So that being said, there are things that we can introduce to a person that they may not have considered before. Like one of the things that Ken said was live wires catch fires, or loose wires catch fires. That is a universally true thing. Now, the mainstream media would say, "Oh God, you can't say those kinds of that's kind of like you're ruffling some feathers here, Ken. Settle down, right?" And Ken's gonna be like, "No, that's a real thing. We have to say it so that we can come out as an obligation, as an essential service to our clients, and check to see if they've got loose wires or if they've got a little spark on something. Like, we're here to protect people. Home services is far more about being a life support system today than it is about a luxury."
Right.
And when we lean into that, which I believe is very true in this industry, we end up standing 600 feet above the competition, because the people are going like, they're right. And Sally, you remember that, like the thing on the end of the island that's wiggling all the damn time, and it's like makes that weird grinding, snapping sound? Yeah, maybe we should get that checked. And now you've crossed the threshold.
Right.
And you're the one who crossed the threshold because you're the one who told them, and they're like, yeah, no, that guy told me, and I trust him, and I know him, and I like him, so let's get him.
Right.
Direct search, or aided recall in Google Business Profile, or the Map Pack, or in the 2 paid ads, that are smack in between LSA and Map Pack, right?
Yep.
And off we go. Everything works together.
Correct. Well, and that's one of the things that I love is that it's when you're putting together a branding approach, it's how can it assist everything else that you're doing? And when you're putting together a local service ads approach, it's how can it assist everything that I'm doing, which by the way, local service ads, they're coming out with a branded ad thing. If you haven't read about that, go turn that off. So you're not paying $70, $80, $90 for a branded search term with a local service ad. I'm for branded terms in Google ads because you can control how much you're bidding. Local service ads, you can't. Just go turn that off.
Or, to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, please. Let's hear it.
Turn it on.
Okay.
because that's a place that somebody else can't have, right?
But
What
when
are
it's a
the
branded search
I
in local
agree.
service ads,
It's
competitors aren't showing up, at least not
it's
in any search that I've found.
so far.
Hmm.
But that'll be the next thing, because if they're making you turn it on and if they're suggesting it, then the very next thing is, well, here's this other guy, right? And then here's this other guy. What I'm talking about is real estate.
Right.
You're going to have the paid ad anyway, because if you're doing a real good job with your branded campaigns, you're taking up everything. You know, we have so many clients where it has nothing to do with like the name of the company that they're searching for. They're just searching almost for the description of the company.
Right.
Ken Goodrich, Little Boy with a Flashlight, or Call Dad. Call Dad. Like what is Call Dad? Like it's like Call Dad. Yeah, the Call Dad AC guys, right? That's a search term. So when you can get 20, 30, 40, 50% of your leads coming from branded campaigns from the weirdest crap that you would never expect, but you embedded this stuff in people's brains in mass media, then you're like, I want that spot and that spot, that spot, that spot, that spot, so that, big PE company over here doesn't, just outbid me in this spot, so that I'm not taking up that real estate. So yes, turn it off. Yes, turn it on. Do what's right for your budget, but also be open to kind of exploring what makes the most sense here, and pay attention to what Google does when you're not looking. Because I promise you, they're not doing it to profit less. They are doing everything they can to be your 30% non-equity holding partner with zero risk and 100% reward.
There you go.
Right? If you let them,
Yep.
they will.
Well, and that's, I believe in doing branded campaigns. I think they're incredibly important to businesses, and you need to own your search term, because if you don't, others will. And we're doing a PPC webinar next month where we're going to dive into that, and you can actually look at who's bidding on your branded name as a keyword,
Mhm.
and see who it is that's paying for those clicks and trying to steal your customers from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you can't control that bid, that's the dangerous part. That's the only part that I'm concerned of right now when I'm talking to clients, is that it's outside of your control how much you're willing to pay for that click for someone that's calling you for a warranty or calling you to pay their invoice. And that's the troubling part.
It is troubling, and it is, if I may be so bold, 100% unadulterated extortion. If I may be so bold, it is infringing upon a number of different trademark laws that already exist in this universe. This is not a game that is set up for you to win as a small business owner. This is a game for Google to make the most money.
Correct.
Come hell or high water, this is not about playing fair. This is about playing the most profitable game.
Playing to win.
Third-party cookies are another big monstrous thing that
Right.
that people don't see on the horizon. Now, one of the most successful people that we have in our space is a fellow named Ryan Dice. He was the chairman of the board of Wizard Academy, and he's a very close friend of Roy's, and friends of a number of the partners, including myself. I'd call him a friend. He says the strategy that I have to follow at digitalmarketer.com, which spends many millions of dollars a month in paid advertising, is we've had to dramatically shift that strategy around, because now we have to talk about storytelling. Now we have to build the digital marketer brand. We can't just exist and show up and dominate search result. We have to live in a space where the person is compelled to click on us. And it's not for anything more than Google has changed the way that search is done and the way that you show up. And you're playing a different game. Third-party cookies, from everything that we've seen and through his estimations and those who live in our space, are saying all of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
People who haven't built their brand, people who are relying solely on the undecided customer to unanimously click on yours versus 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 other options, is not going to be the recipe for future success. It
Right.
just simply isn't. And SEO is going to come into play here. Human optimization conversion rate optimization. All of these things are going to become ultra essential to doing it. LSA is a perfect glimpse into the future of future search results as we know it today. Now, AI might throw that a totally different curve that we don't know about yet, or we're getting glimpses of right now. But right now, it's take the control away from all of those schmucks who think they know how to bid their structure and manual this and smart bid this and all this, like all these buttons you can click to kind of make it perfect. The good people know how to do that, and they're doing a great job. You guys know exactly what you're doing, and you do a great job. But there's 10,000 other people who claim that they know what they're doing and do a terrible job and make you look like an asshole.
Yep.
So I spend a good 50% of my time defending the shit out of digital marketers that I have no relationship with. I'm just like, it's not their fault, right? So you're thrown into this bus because something has happened either at the channel, the Google or the Bing or the whatever, or it's happened at the the way that it's structured in the first place. So it's not fair, but it's the realities of the world that we're in, and you have to really be good at figuring out who to trust and who to lean into and who to have as your person that's taking care of you.
Well, and that's the reality of any niche, any vertical, any business where there's a low barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Right. The states where you don't even need a contractor's license to open up a business.
Bonkers.
Low barrier to entry. Yeah. You get bad service because they don't have to go through those qualifications first. Digital marketing, same thing. Do you have an internet connection and a laptop? Away you go.
Yeah. You have a pulse? Have you?
You took a Ty Lopez course? All right, here we go.
All right, let's do this. All right, I got this.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone can
absolutely.
talk a talk, but walking the walk is a whole different world. And I'm blessed, it's, to have learned and been a disciple and a person who's really leaned into Roy, and what he believes. Some of it is misconstrued because we do lean heavily on the mass media and branded side, because frankly, that's the bits and pieces that one can deliver on or do right.
Yep.
There's other people that we can trust that are going to do a wonderful job digitally. We just need to let them do the thing that they do best and guide them on the things that we have created and put into the universe so that they can add them to the thing.
Right.
Beyond that, we just need to get the heck out of your way and defend that the reality that you can't invent demand, but you can inspire people to think about a thing that they hadn't thought about before. Right.
Correct.
And that is an element of demand that we fail to see sometimes. And we have to do that in more elegant storytelling, customer-centric ways, not buy my shit.
No, and that's it's going to lead me into my next question, but I'd be remiss if we didn't do the random question generator really quick. And I know we got to wrap up because we've already been an hour 10 here, but I'm having a blast. So this is great. Random question generator brought to you by On Purpose Media. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, roses wilt, chocolates melt, but On Purpose Media marketing plans, better than any gift you'll ever receive. We have the knowledge and expertise to get your customers to fall in love with your business. Visit us at onpurposemedia.ca to learn more. All right. You like that?
That makes me got all the feels.
A little warm and fuzzy inside.
Right? Yeah.
Ryan, you've got your choice of 3 questions. You don't get to know what they are beforehand. It's random. Has nothing to do with anything that we ever talked about today, but it's fun conversation.
Let's do it. Number 3, there's a power of 3s.
Power of 3. Here we go. What would you choose if you had to replace your hands with something other than your hands or claws? Was that for random?
That's awesome. What would I do if I had to change my hands with something other than hands? I feel like it has to be some sort of weapon.
Nice.
Like a machine gun, like with endless bullets.
Nice.
Maybe one hand with like machine guns and like another hand that's like a sword.
There you go. That's very survival mindset.
I have a survival mindset. I grew up figuring out how not to die. So that's the world I live in.
Amazing.
Canada, right? So you
Canada,
either
eh?
gotta pick like you either be a lumberjack or you're survivalist.
There you go. And lumberjacks better survive. Um, as marketers in the last 20 years, we've been privileged to Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and it's provided businesses an uneven opportunity for the ones that got in early when they were paying 5 cents, 10 cents a click on Google ads.
Right.
Unheard of. Montreal, by the way, is almost an untapped market on Google ads. It's phenomenal there. The cost per click is so low. It's fantastic compared to other markets.
No one loves the French.
Like, nobody loves the French people. They don't get any love.
Beautiful women, but fuck those guys.
Fucking hate Quebec. That's great.
Into Canada, we'll take you to a Montreal.
I can hear you on here.
We've talked so long that your shit has died.
Nope, that didn't work either. Oh, I laughed too hard. My earbud fell out. All right. Main question. Do you feel that marketers have gotten lazy?
Here's what I truly believe. I believe that there is a core group of extraordinary marketers, entrepreneurs, business people, ambitious people who have absolutely not gotten lazy, but they are at the limits of their resources because people have went, holy fuck, these people are awesome. Right. And that's it. I have worked so hard and in all honesty, frustrated some very important people in my life, clients and the like, because I'm building something so significant within the Wizard of Ads that I'm busting my ass behind the scenes, not telling them that I'm doing anything to provide more content for them, to be valid and relevant and helpful for them in the moment today.
Right.
And that's frustrating because I'm tapped out. Like I'm delivering something that a lot of Wizard of Ads partners unto themselves are not delivering, that we're doing this as groups. We're doing this as teams within Wizard of Ads. That the only way to succeed truly with a Wizard of Ads strategy is to have specialists that do the amazing things that they do, and then be comfortable with supporting the people who are not Wizard of Ads, the on-purpose medias of the world, to say, hey, here's our thing. Go prosper with this, and let's all win as a tribe together for our client. That I run out of Ryan, right? So I'm following Dan Martell's Buy Back Your Time strategies. If you haven't bought that book, that's the very next book that you need to buy. You need to put that into practice. You need to get your executive assistant and home manager and everything else that you need to get to free up time to do the things that are mostly important. I've told clients this for years from Tim Brennan, who's a brilliant friend and supporter of mine. He owns a company called Talent Sorter, which is a recruitment agency that helps find the right talent and sort those people into the right buckets to see if they're a good fit. Well, he says, look, there's $15 an hour jobs, $50 an hour jobs, and $150 an hour jobs. Why in the God's name is a CEO doing a $15 an hour job? Right? The very first thing that needs to go away is those $15 an hour jobs. Just list them all and give that to a $15 an hour person. That lets you do more $150 an hour shit, right? And when you're doing that, you're winning. You're winning, right? And that's exactly Dan Martell's point. So Dan Martell's one of my coaches, right? I have Roy as one of my coaches. Ken is certainly a mentor to me. There's these people in my life that I am leaning on, sometimes spending astounding amounts of money just to make sure that I am elevating myself for my clients, because I give a shit about these people. I truly care about their success. And we know that there's a lot of people running through some tough times right now. So are there some lazy people in there? Yeah, they're the ones that make it easy to sully the world for the rest of us. There's really big companies out there in the digital marketing world that are making a goddamn mockery of digital marketing right now. And that just drives me bonkers, because some of these people are lovely human beings doing bullshit stuff,
Right.
right? And they don't need to, they just are. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just not cool with me. And that's something that I got from Roy as a mentor to me is like, see the bullshit, call the bullshit, because there's an awful lot of bullshit out there. This thing that I'm wearing on my shirt, completely coincidental. This is a t-shirt I just got back from the printers 2 days ago, and it says Gentle Savage. And the notion of you can absolutely be a savage in life without being a dick. And that's a really important juxtaposition of two things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because one really isn't the other. But Dan Martell is a gentle savage, and Roy Williams and Ken Goodrich and Dewey Jenkins and all of the Brian Scudamore. These guys are gentle savages. They are beasts. They are impressive human beings, but not because they bullied their way to the top, because they cared their way to the top. They stood for something. And that's what we're really missing in this world today. We're missing gentle savages in this world. We're missing the people who actually friggin' grab onto something and own it. And that's, if we can just fix that, if we can just, and all it takes is for you to stand for something and say, you know what, I'm not for that, I am for this. That's all it takes, is I'm going to stand for this. When it's inconvenient for me, I am going to stand for this to make it more convenient for others. Thinking about others more than myself or my company, right? It sucks. I spend a ton of money to deliver content and to make sure that people are getting stuff that helps them grow, whether or not I benefit or not.
Right.
I'm totally okay with that. That's my purpose. That's that thing that allows me to help elevate others, and they'll be naturally drawn to me. But that's my value. It's inconvenient, it's costly, it's all of those things to me, so that they can be convenienced, so that they can thrive, that they can grow, that they can step into my world and say, I'm one of Ryan's people, right? Not necessarily even Wizard of Ads, but Ryan within Wizard of Ads, who's gone that extra mile and done that extra thing to take it that next step, right? The next generation, the next level of what Wizard of Ads is, so that we can be the thing that needs to happen in this world, which is to friggin' stand for something and to stop being these waffly bullshit people who are just willing to go on whatever side's winning, right? The bandwagon.
Right.
And that's hugely important. So I think there's more of the people waiting to see which side that they should pick, or saying this is the thing I do best and committing to their channels, when what they really need to do is like, my channel is not the only solution here, right?
Yeah.
Sales standpoint, right? You need to do this and that, right? I say that all the time, right? You can't just do Wizard of Ads, right? We do not exist without amazing digital friends and partners in our world, right? And you're one of our friends. You're one of those people that we feel confident about, right? Now, can we say we're, official strategic partners and all the other kind of like the Scorpion Service Titan bullshit? I've never seen more nonsense from a nonsense. There
It's
are
true.
much better solutions out there, folks. Just listen to me. Give these guys a call, for the love of God, right? There are better ways to solve your problems. And the reality is because it's how we decide to do things, right?
Right.
How you choose to show up matters, not just to your clients, but to your employees, to your kids, to your wife, right? We have to show up and reduce friction and resistance in life. We have to commit to serving others. I don't believe in servant leadership. I think that it's a redundant statement.
Right.
Servant leadership is leadership. That's all it always is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're charismatic or any of these other affiliations. It's leadership, taking care of people. People don't follow people who aren't going somewhere. You can't go somewhere unless you have a North Star. You can't, if you don't have a North Star, you can't navigate, right? The North Star is the only star that doesn't move. If you don't have a North Star, it's impossible to navigate, which means you're going nowhere. You're drifting, you're surfing, you're drowning, right? And people, customers, employees, kids, spouses, friends, family, they're just looking for somebody to lead them. They're looking for somebody to follow. They may be leaders themselves, but they're looking for somebody to align themselves with that speaks the same language of moving in the right direction together.
To say, that's my guy.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. And
I
do you
love
want
it.
to be their guy, or do you just want to be another waffling muppet in life floating around with the rest of them bobbing up and down, waiting for something to happen?
Swiping on your phone, eyes down, oblivious to what it is that's happening around you.
That's it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, swipe social media all you want. Just hit the like button when you go to
On this
Ryan's.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Hit that like button, right? So don't forget to like, comment, and share. On Purpose Media, HVAC Revealed Secrets, Success Secrets.
There you
Thanks for
go. Wow, what a great way to wrap it up and to truly put a bow on it, to bring it full circle, to come back to those values and say again, and is it beliefs that you think are driving you, or is it real values, the things that you're willing to do when things are hard, the North Star, the thing you're willing to stand for, and have that drive your business and drive all your decision making, and use it as your filter and your guiding principle when you're running your business. I love that. Thank you so much, Ryan. We do have one final question for you.
Rock on.
What is one question that you wish people would ask you more, but they don't?
I mean, the very first thing that comes to my head is how babies are made, but I really don't understand any of that stuff. Right? I mean, that's just because I have a ludicrous brain.
Well, isn't it the tragically hip? Isn't that how babies are made?
Yes, right. Definitely in Canada. That's right. Babies are made in a blackout. Tragically Hip comes on. So, gosh, that's a great question. What is something that I wish people would ask? Well, I wish, how do we do it versus where should we do it? It certainly comes to mind first. I wish more people would lean into what is the strategy and message first, instead of what channel are we going to go on? Because that's
Right.
almost the biggest first mistake that has ever made is we're thinking about doing some Facebook ads. We're thinking, wait, should we do TikTok? What about OTT? What do you think about OTT? I think the same thing about all of them. They're all awesome in the right circumstance.
Mhm.
Right? It does not matter. I am agnostic when it comes to media. The question is, what are you doing? And what are you going to say? And what are you trying to achieve? Strategy first. That's it. That's like, let's talk strategy. We can win the game with strategy. I don't even care if you guys hire us, right? Half the time I'm going to say no to the clients who call, or the potential clients that call, because it's just not the right time, not the right fit. And I have a duty of care to those people to do it when it's right for them, equally as much that if their mindset isn't in the right spot, if they're jonesing for the next lead, right? Don't call a branding agency. Don't do a brand forward strategy. You will win about a year from now, but that first 12 months, you're going to have to go through some messed up, fucked up withdrawal, and it's going to rush your dreams, right? So you have to be durable enough financially and mentally to get through the branding's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, every idiot would do it, right? Everybody would do it. It's hard. I'm not trying to sell something here. I'm trying to unsell the crap out of it, because the people who have to lean into it. Now, it's the best thing that you will ever do. There's no better time to plant a tree than 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And I promise you, as third-party cookies start to exit and you have to really start leaning into story, you'll have wished that you had done it today.
Correct.
I'm certain of that. And that's the truth about Yellow Pages. And that was the truth about this right now. And that'll be the truth about this weird LSA thing that's going on right now. and all of the other things that platforms are going to do in the next 10 years that are going
And
to
AI that's coming, and
yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna mess up search strategy and
big
and
time.
how people search for things. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we've got some just disgustingly smart people on the inside of some really big companies that are paying attention to it and telling us some pretty fascinating stories now. There's no meat to the bone yet, but there's gonna be.
Hmm.
It's cool. It's really cool. It's exciting times, but it's also friggin' terrifying. The thing that you can trust is that a good story will always stand the test of time no matter what you do, and
Yes,
that we can reach 50% of any market in America on TV and or radio um, today with astounding confidence, with 100% accuracy, with zero standard deviation of truth. And that is a heck of a good compliment to a solid digital presence.
there you go. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Now you're capturing both the demand and the interested, right? And
Thing-
that's the important part, because I think,
it-
what is it? Only 3% of the market at any given time is interested and actively looking for your service.
yeah.
What are you doing to capture the other 97?
Well, that's it. 97 when they're not looking, right?
Yep.
Win the game before the game has even started.
Yes.
And you've won before the game begins, right? That is the trick behind all of the big players who've either sold or capitalized on that in the most astounding ways.
I love it. Ryan, thank you so much for all of this. Best places for people to contact you, for anyone that wants to reach out.
Yeah, hey, look, if you want to check out my socials, it's at Wizard Ryan Shoot, I should say. That's changed up recently. Wizard Ryan Shoot, and I do have my new domain Ryan Shoot at ryanshoot.com, excuse me, going live here in the next 3-4 weeks.
Nice.
And wizardofads.contractors is the home service specific page for Wizard of Ads. Now, I tap into all of the people that you see at wizardofads.org, who are all my partners. There's also a secret menu of partners that are no longer advertising their services. They just do the work through myself and a select few others. And you got to contact people like myself, and if you like my vibe, that's the person to go to. And if you like somebody else's vibe, check them out. I am totally supportive of all of the Wizard partners. They are amazing people that Roy has handpicked over the last 20 years.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. I know from our conversation with Michael was great. Not as good as this one, but
I'll make sure, I promise you, I will make sure he knows that.
No, we had a great time with Michael too.
Yeah, like Mick is one of my number one guys. He is a top 1% creative in North America. He is an astounding human being, and his brother Chris is equally as much. These are the kinds of people I put in my teams. I really try not to put anyone but the best on my teams, as people vary, so do results. Ultimately, that's no different in the Wizard of Ads group, but we find the right fit. And that's really my superpower, is finding the people who are just so amazing to work together, because when you get that energy, that's when magical things happen.
Amazing. Well, and if there's anything that you can learn from this show that wasn't directly spoken, is you surround yourself with amazing people. And
I really am an astoundingly blessed human being. I'm just so astoundingly grateful for the wonderful people that I share time with, and that really does help elevate me. But it also, my job is to help elevate others that want to be around me. So
yeah, well, and as Jim Rohn said, if you want to give more, you have to become more, right? And continue to elevate yourself. So thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you for all of this. Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom, all of your wizardry, and we truly appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend.
You as well, man. This has been fun.
Absolutely, it was. And until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Cue the outro.
Well, that's a wrap on another episode of HVAC Success Secrets Revealed. Before you go, two quick things. First off, join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/HVAC Revealed. The other thing, if you took one tiny bit of information out of this show, no matter how big, no matter how small, all we ask is for you to introduce this to one person in your contacts list. That's it. That's all. One person. So they too can unleash the ultimate HVAC business. Until next time, cheers.